Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, where we're witnessing the brand new train on the brand new train line that we created in the last episode. We have a route that goes from Liverpool all the way down to Exeter, and it goes through Birmingham and Bristol. It's absolutely amazing. We had to also then reconfigure our bus route to connect the two stations up, so everything is more intertwined and connected. And in doing so, boys, we're now starting to make more money than ever. So much more money than ever right now. 7.2 million on the previous year, which is absolutely ridiculous. I can't express how ridiculous that now is with the money that we got coming in. So much, in fact, that I can now finally do what I've been promising for so many episodes. Last episode, I paid half of my debt off. Well, guess what? Now, I'm officially debt-free. So for those screaming in the comment section, it's gone, okay? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Well, today, I want to do a couple of things. Now, I want to save up enough money to start upgrading all the vehicles on our current routes, making the trains a little bit more efficient, maybe adding multiple trains on lines that kind of have higher demand for it. But I also want to take a look at London. I kind of hinted towards maybe building the M25. If you don't know what that is, in real life around London, there's a massive big looped motorway. Well, I say it goes around the whole thing. There's an awkward section here where it technically is not, but it is. It's awkward. But pretty much there is a big ring road going around the whole of London. That's called the M25. It's a huge motorway. Now, I'm hoping if I build that, we can solve some of the traffic issues that we do have. Mainly with vehicles trying to get in certain areas. They're picking certain routes as the main route because of the speed limits and whatnot. And if I build a big ring road, I'm hoping we can we can utilize a lot more vehicles using it, which means that my buses will run on time a little bit easier. My trucks taking the food to London can actually get there without being stuck in traffic for a gazillion years. It's kind of stressful. It is kind of stressful, but welcome back into it, boys. If you are enjoying the series, smash that like button down below. And if you're new in here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. So what we'll do, I think the big one we're going to do first is on the right side. And the reason I want to do that is because, one, it's going to be the most difficult one to do, but also it connects Ipswich, or Cambridge, Ipswich, and Canterbury to the sides of London, which will make things a little bit easier to kind of get the traffic to and from. Because if you're in Cambridge, you want to get down to Ipswich right now, down to Canterbury, you have to go through London, and that is a huge pain. So we're going to build this bypassing route. So there's a couple of ways in which we can pretty much do this. I do have the ability to build these little T sections, and they'll be really good for accessing kind of London as a whole. But I'm just realizing we're gonna have to do quite a lot of configurations here. So I reckon first what we do is we get rid of some of this road, because we're gonna have to build a bridge that kind of connects over right now. Right, so streets, we need highways, which is this. What's this one here? Country, okay. I'm going to do a 2-lane highway road. Now, I don't want to keep player ownership because I do not want to pay the maintenance costs, like, forever. And which side of the... I mean, they should be driving on the right-hand side of the road, but they're technically... Oh, are they? Yes, they are. They are driving the right-hand side of the road, which in the UK, we drive on the left, which I don't know what's going on with this save game, okay, boys? I don't know what's going on with this save game. But I'm going to raise this up, hopefully. And we're going to bring this now across. So, do I want to keep this all raised, or should I keep this to a level playing field? I reckon we should just keep it to a level playing field, right? Yeah, let me come up and come back on. Right. It's a lot cheaper. Let's do that. Let's do that. But here we get a choice of bridges. Now, I don't think it adjusts the price of it, but I feel like I want a nice kind of showy-offy, in-your-face type of bridge here, and I reckon that will be the one. That will be good enough for me, boys. So I'm going to run the same thing going back down. And can I have also a nice showy-offy bridge again? Yes. So I'm hoping that will be the most expensive part of the entire project of this. That's what I'm hoping for. So now I need to strategically place a bunch of these little kind of what are they called? T intersections. So we're kind of going to want to also implement how we get to these little towns as well. So I reckon it would be a good idea to have, for example, one here to access London, but then also have one, let's say, I mean, you could argue one here to access Ipswich. I can then get rid of the need for that road. And then we do, because it's also got a bend round this way, then one here for Cambridge, but at the same time I need another one to turn off to access in. So we might potentially see multiple connections here, and that's probably going to stress me out a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you right now, unless we don't do these only in certain areas where we need them, and instead we build overpasses with slip roads. To me, that sounds a little bit better, doesn't it? It does sound a little bit better. So that's not a highway. Oh, well, it is, but it's the wrong one. Right, so if I go to here, and I'm going to use the little bendy one. And we're going to keep this going through. So if I also do the same for these. So about there, bring it in. And then from there. Right, we might need to delete this. I'm so sorry, but you have to now go the long way around. How am I going to do this? This is going to be a bit funky now, isn't it? No. Alright, if we go there and then straight in like that. Right, that does the work for me. So I've got to go up and round, and I'm going to have to go past this bit here. So if I also plan this out, and this is all to do with my train track. So I feel like I might have an elevated section just here for now that we'll have to utilize. So some areas, the underpass overpass will be down below. So that'll be kind of exciting, wouldn't it? I feel like that would kind of be exciting. So bringing this out a bit more. So there, bringing this all the way in. And then ideally want to get all this connected in. But doing something like that is obviously not the best way to go about it. To be honest with you, I could do it like that. That's not a problem. That almost works out fairly well, but the problem is getting it all to connect in. See, that's my only problem. When you're running so close to these areas, let me delete you. There's no parallel tool. Oh, does that fit in? That fits in. Right, we'll go with you. That's all elevated there. You know what I mean? I don't know if I wanted that all to be elevated. This is the pain of building this. Right. Stick you to the ground. Confirm. We'll have to do a lot of terraforming. I like the idea of that being one side higher than the other. Have you ever driven to Weston-super-Mare coming from Birmingham way? There's a certain road on the motorway where one side's higher than the other and it looks really, really good. So this is going to be a test right now. I might do my first test here for slip roads. This will be interesting. So if I went here and then went in like that. So if I went to there and then that would then go to here. Okay, maybe a little bit further back. Now that road's slightly falling away, so you're not going to get the same effect almost. So just bear with me on this, okay? Just bear with me. Now, of course, you want to use lane math. Right, that looks terrible, doesn't it? It does look terrible. So my other idea right now... What do you mean I can't delete you? Right, there we go. My other idea right now... Ugh, how did that happen? Building roads in this game is not the game's forte. I'll be honest with you right now. Oh, come on. You're telling me you can't now do this? There we go. Yeah, building roads is not the game's forte. I'm building it expecting it to be like City Skylines, and it's never going to be like that. Right, if I go out to there, which means this would go to here, and then do the same logic here. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but we'll give it a good go. So that'll bend up and in. So a little bit more organization. It won't be, like I said, it won't be perfect, but a little bit more organization, right? It should do the job. It should do the job. So by that logic anyway, lane math. Lane math is important. We have 2 lanes, one turns off, one continues. And as one then turns back on, it becomes 2 lanes. That's how important lane math is. Now, that's taking place on this route here, which I might even drag this road to connect to it as well. We still have the normal routes going in because you want to have as much connectivity as you possibly can. But right now, that's the only entry point. Look at how much of a standstill this traffic is. I'm in play mode, by the way. You can see I'm in play mode. Shocking. Now, let's try and apply this logic here. Now, I'm thinking we're going to have to delete back a little bit further to give us the ability to have the elevation going over the top. So this one's going to be a reverse of that one. This road's going to go over the top. And streets, just want normal street roads. So I want to raise this up. We're going to bring this up and over. Is it too high? Oh, it feels really high, that does. So to about there, which is fine. Straight down. I think it's because the land's dropping off as much as it is. Right, I reckon we'll confirm to there. I'll delete to there. And I'm going to draw a big bridge that goes all the way over. So it also goes over the train tracks. Now the problem with this bit is now that slips on down there. So it might be a little bit tricky. We might be able to get away with it. We'll see. So we'll pull this out. Right, we'll go the straight bit here. Let me cancel you. So we'll go straight there. We'll bring that in. And then I've got to do the same here now. Because it's all elevated, it's all now slightly different to normal. But it should all still do the same job. Oh, I don't like how that turns out. Okay, that works. It just didn't work going in, did it, on that one? Interesting. There we go. So that's a little bit longer than the other one, but again, should still do the same job, so to speak. Now, technically, right, we have our first connection. They can drive here, down, and then turn off or turn in, whatever they want to do. But I don't think that's going to be a major route in general for them. But we shall soon see. We shall soon see. I can have a little fast forward to see if anybody does start to use it. But I don't think it's going to be a major route just yet. Oh, I've got to sort the lane map out here. So, upgrade you. There we go. We've got the lane map now done. Very good. Like I said, I don't think it'll be these will be the major connections. This will be a major one here. So for this, we're going to make it go through that connection there. Does this go up on a hill? It does, doesn't it? It does go up on a hill. Now, I might do something interesting here. I might make it tunnel through, because it will bend down this way. it will bend down that way. So highway-wise, and it's going to go in that direction. So if I just run this here, and then run that. Right, I gotta delete this. Right, goodbye, 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 goodbye. Just to there. I want to see what I can do here. So bring you to there, and then it's almost as if I want to try and go for a big bend. But it comes out then. I don't want it to come out just there. Alright, there's a certain area in which I'm trying to make it before it goes into a tunnel. Also, I'm having to slightly angle the bend parallel to the road. Oh, that would work. That actually here would work. Right, delete you, delete you. Delete you, delete you, delete you. I think this is it. If I can replicate this going back in the opposite way, we're onto a slight little winner. It's just somehow I've got to try and replicate this. Oh, I think I've only gone and done it, boys. I think I've only gone and done it. Right, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, and then will this? Oh my goodness me. So, okay, I haven't 100%, but we're awfully close. We're awfully close here. So if I go straight there, that's where I want it, and then I just realised I'm still elevated quite high. Right, I think the problem is having to come back a little bit. Alright, please work. Right, I'm not going to argue. There we go. So the point is there, this is the road it goes over, and then the slip roads come down to it. You know what I mean? That way. I actually really like that. In a weird way, I really do like it. Now, no one's really utilising it just yet. I'm hoping this is not all for literally a wasted thing. But this is where we should see the big thing, the big change of it now being utilised. So, in terms of streets anyway, we need to get a normal street. So, do I go with like a 4-laner? Be a bit more chunky on this? Or, no, I'm going to keep it like normal. Maybe try and guide them towards using this kind of highway style thing. Them creating a little bit more. So if I come out just there. If I come out just there. Now, it will be a wider connection than what we're normally used to. Slope is too slopey, apparently. Right, we'll get to there. There we go. Oh, hang on, I got the wrong one. Right, there to there. That works. So it's very long. I understand that. It's very, very long, this. But I'm hoping it all goes to plan. There we go. There we go. So vehicles are already making their way down on there now. Saw the lay math out really quickly. They're already making their way down. Now I know it's a monstrosity of a junction. You know. Don't hate me for that. But it should do the job. A very, very important connection between two towns. They still have the major road that links them into London. But these ones now turning off into the right are choosing to bypass London altogether. Unless they're turning in and doing a left there, but those two vehicles I've just seen right now have gone into Ipswich. So they're doing what I want them to do. Now, it will be a while before we see the huge benefits coming out of this. But just doing half of it already makes a huge difference. Now, there'll be another one that we'll kind of have to implement just there as we swing all this all the way around. There'll be one around here. Which, I don't know whether to have a road leading to Brighton. Or whether we just use the T intersections for these points. It's probably the better way to go about doing them. Because I want them to use public transport. That's how that's how we make our money in this game. It's how we legit make our money. So it's on small. Yeah, it's on small. So I reckon we throw this one in. See, that's my problem right now, is the height. Because of how it all drops off around here. Unless I can slightly delete you back. And, delete you back as well. We can make it work. We can make it fit. So we'll have one there. Right, we'll have one there. Which I know it's close to there, but it kind of gives us good access. We'll throw in another one here. I don't know whether this is overkill. One there. We'll do one just. I'll rotate it. Only ever so slightly, and we'll go here. That there will be a crisscross one, like how we've already created these. And we'll try and bring that down as soon as possible, but then I'll have one there. And I reckon that's it. So it's really only these two there that are pretty close together. We'll have a crossing one just there. Actually, I might change from that one to this one instead. Right, I gotta delete all of this road. Right. Okay, I think we're good. I'm already quite happy that we've seen some vehicles utilising it. But we got to get rid of the majority of all the backlogs first. So, roads, streets, highways, 2-lane for now. We then got to eventually sort out all the other stuff, but swinging that in. Oh, don't tell me you're not going to play ball. Swinging you in. That went a little bit too to plan. That's the best way to put it. Right, you're into there. You're into there. Now, this is the issue I was going to have, is the sheer fact that it's on a huge tilt. So we need to use the smoothing tool. Raise this up. I'm going to pause for a second. Increase the strength. And spend a little bit of cash right now on sorting out the landscaping. There's only so much you're going to be able to do to be able to get the height on that. I might have to move this back. If I'm completely honest with you. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to move these back. Do you know what's more annoying? You got to delete all the roads individually. That's the annoying bit. Same with this. Why didn't I see this from the get-go? I should have seen that coming from the get-go, shouldn't I? Right, street constructions. So that's not elevated. Well, it is elevated, but it's not elevated, so I'm going to have to sort out that as well. Right, this is going to have to go back to about here. Wait, bridge pillar construction? Wait, what's going on now? Oh, I see. There's a bridge pillar that's stopping me from constructing. I think there's actually multiple. Where's the other one then? That's not it, is it? Huh? Is it here somewhere that I can't see it? Oh, I don't know. But what I'm also going to do right now is flatten tool, just kind of get a rough idea of where we're currently at. Smoothing it. Right, we've got a rough idea now, so I know I can place it roughly. I'm actually bringing it a bit closer now, to be honest with you. And it should all work out. Right, back to streets. Normal. There we go. So something like this would be a... I mean, I could choose to do a 4-laner, but it doesn't really... It won't really make much sense, but that connection's completely fine to be able to do it, though. To there, and then this is a bam. Well, bam kind of scenario. So that's literally all it needs to do. That's all it needs to do. Now smoothing in. Hoping to see a few more people utilizing that. And then we're going to continue around. So I think doing what I've just done here will really help out the elevation of it. But you got to be careful because I can't raise the whole thing up to this height because look how much money it costs us. Like just like that, I just spent a couple of million. So it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But we can give it a good go. So that will go here, which is perfectly fine. And then, in terms of the streets, that goes under beautifully. A little bit too good, if you ask me. A little bit too good. Just throwing that out there. Am I in pause mode? I am now. I just want to quickly sort this out. So I've got to sort out the lane management as well, but I'll get onto that soon. Right, there we go. I thought I was in pause mode, but I wasn't, and then I was. I couldn't quite figure out what was going down. So sticking to the 4-lane road, just because the way it kind of merges to this a little bit easier, just makes a little bit more sense for us. So confirm that, and then we run this in. What do you mean not possible? Are we too close of it? What's going on here? I can't drag. There we go. Right, I think this might be a little bit too close. Right, we'll go to there. You're there. Wow, this is ridiculous. Right, you're there. What is going on here? Why did not let me do what I want to do here? I have to do the old-fashioned way. I'm really going quite wide with all of this. Right, it's worked, but one of these is now the wrong way round. Oh dear God. It's one of those days. It's one of those days, boys. But in reality, Traffic is definitely looking a lot clearer through here now. The backlog is starting to die down. A few more people using the on and off ramps, which is looking really good. We've just got to start people utilising all of this. And then we're going to make sure that our speed limits... I mean, there's a speed limit of 50. You can go a lot quicker. I could change it to like... what could I change it to? I mean, the normal roads are a lot slower. So you'll be alright. Alright, no. No. Boom. Boom. A little bit of smoothing. On the old landscaping. Now this is a bit of a tough cookie, this one. Now while that does connect to there, I don't technically want it to connect to here. So I was going to get it to connect to here. And to there. Because I want this road to connect to this. So we'll upgrade you to that. And providing that this is now going to work and not go skew-if like the last one. Right, boom. Here we go again. Here we go again, boys. Right, out. And then winding in. And then you straight out. Solves the problems. Solves all the problems. I've almost connected the full ring loop right now of the M42. I've almost connected, boys. There's a couple of vehicles using it right now. For all this money, they need to start using it more. But it could be that they're so caught up in the backlog they can't get enough room to get onto it. I've just realised I had this one over here done as well. I haven't even done anything to it. So, we'll actually, with this one, I'll actually bring this to about there. And then bend that round quite nicely to go in. To where your boy will take this road and then bend it slightly out to connect you in and go out. I'm doing it like that just for the sake of it being able to work. But even then it's a bit funky still, isn't it? Yeah. I just realised I'm keeping player ownership on all of this. I've just realised this whole time. I was meant to turn it off and I've kept player ownership the whole time. Oh dear God. I suppose that I'm now responsible for filling in all the potholes. Fine, I'll be responsible. But again, it gives us more connectivity. Which is the important thing. For all of this. There's a vehicle about to get onto it right now. Look at this. It's being utilised. So I'm hoping that they understand that this is the quicker route in terms of speed. So I now need to apply this logic to all of this. Now my problem with this is I've now got to... I'm going to have to delete you for a second. Delete all of this. Vehicle in the way. Damn it. Right, streets. I gotta bring... it like this, almost. For the way I want the connection to technically work. If I bring you in to just allow these vehicles to get out of here real quick. And then I can delete it all. Whoa, how many vehicles are in there? There we go. There we go. Good stuff. So I want it to go across there so I can create my connection for all of this as well. So slightly raise you up. Now it's not too high, is it? No, we can manage that. Nice. And then we go shabam into there. Shabam into there. And that's all the way up to here. Which I'm hoping we can just do a simple connection to there. And then thinking about it, this road is a little bit closer than I like now. So if I went and deleted all of this and deleted back, I'm still going to use that road. But bringing this now there. So it's a bit more on the curve. And then let's sort all this out then. So you're going to go this way while you go this way. You go this way while you go that way. And then hopefully all this now works out. So we'll go a little bit longer than normal because the way the other one's going to connect. Oh, that all works out. It's quite a close connection, isn't it? That could cause some traffic issues. But there's no way for me to, unless a miracle can happen here. Oh, it does. A miracle does happen. Right, upgrade you. Single lane. So I'm not going to argue too much of it. It is what it is at the end of the day. And I'm going to upgrade now all of these little T sections to single lanes because that's how the lane management needs to work. Oh, vehicle going back that way. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? And this over here. And I've officially built the M25. It's not pretty. I think we can all agree it's not pretty. But dear God, this needs to work. I wonder if it's changed my... no, okay, it hasn't changed my yellow line. I probably could if I moved it a little bit more north. But I suppose now then it's just hoping that the place can run a bit smoother, a lot more efficient. Every vehicle using the M25 is one less vehicle utilising the inner roads of London. So I suppose we'll always have that. Okay, I suppose we'll always have that. Now I know in some areas it would be a good idea to maybe upgrade to a 4-lane road to allow the traffic to flow through a little bit easier. Oh, it's all cleared from here, which is looking good. Okay, that's quite exciting. So we're seeing some improvements. We are seeing some improvements, which is pretty nice. This is weird, because it backlogs, then it doesn't backlog. But again, we're seeing movement. We're seeing vehicles driving. Oh, vehicle going this way. So it's useful for some. It's useful for some. Now this is quite a busy road. I wonder how this will, even if it does, like die down as time goes on. Another vehicle coming this way. So I reckon it's just one of those things. You just give it time and then just see how it settles. If it doesn't solve it, it could be a case we need to figure out a few of the little bits and bobs and how we float around the areas in general. Could be interesting. Okay, right. Anywho, we've got some cash right now. I want to take a look at some of these train routes. Now, we're going to start with our southern line because this is quite an important and quite a busy and quite a long route. I'm going to manage the vehicle. Now, the train in question, we're going to edit it. This is how it's looking. Not the best. The diesel engine no longer exists. So if I was to replace... Right, let me just come off this because last time I did this I kind of messed it up. But if I replace this with... Now this is going to be quite expensive to do so. But I'm going to replace it with the BR218. And in terms of passenger wagons, I want to... I mean, let me edit it. It's better to edit it because it already has some of these on that I can utilize. So, cargo... No, sorry, diesel, sorry. Add the engine on. We're going to go with this one. So originally it was 174 capacity. Now it doesn't have to be that, but I would like to get at least 2 trains on here. So if I add another one, so that's going to cost me 8 million to now replace it. But if I add in 2 more, 13 million to modify this. Now it's 165 capacity, which is a little bit less, but I'm hoping I can then first modify it and replace it. So it's going to be a lot quicker right now, a lot more efficient. And then once we've got a few more pennies coming in, which shouldn't take us too long, I'm going to get a second train on that southern line. And it's really going to help us out. It's really, really going to help us all out. So, vehicles moving, coming in and out. There's a lot of vehicles there that do want to enter and exit that way. So I feel like we kind of do need to look at maybe utilizing a 4-lane system. So if I just did it here, and then the right lane is dictated just there for people wanting to make that entry onto the highway. Now, my mates go a little bit further down. I don't know if they're all stuck in their lane right now and they can't actually get over to this side. Oh, there we go. A few of them moved over. Interesting. Okay. Now, it does get a little bit chaotic once you get to this point. And they're all trying to drive up to go in that direction. But that's what, you know, the main thing is we're trying to solve the traffic. And I don't know if I even like how they're trying to navigate all this. Right, making go a different route, which will kind of slightly move the bulk along, which will take a few vehicles out of their current line that they're stuck in. That green one's coming straight down, so I know it works for further vehicles down the line. So it should move a few vehicles. But it's still absolutely chaotic no matter what you say anyway. Traffic in London is terrible. It's really bad. It's really bad. So we're going to 4-lane that, and we'll 4-lane it going back as well. To see if we can encourage some more vehicles utilizing the slip roads to utilize the highway. The backlog's happening here again as well. So just see what we can do to make some moves. But ultimately, it's a case of we also need to encourage more public transport within this area. So it could be that we think about kind of adding a couple additional stops in, maybe implementing some trams. We've got some bus routes in, but the bus routes do not solve the issues that we are currently experiencing. But there is movement. Okay, maybe they're all dying there, but we are starting to see a bit more movement. We've bulked up the capacity of the lanes. Hopefully we see a few more vehicles utilizing the M25. You can see a few vehicles there using it as well. Let me upgrade this little strip. So this gives like a larger capacity to be able to turn in, turn off. You see they're all turned off there. There was a few going down that way as well. So it helps. It helps, but I think the problem is still greater than we see it to be. Right, anyway, this line, where's this train? So the train's now heading down. 75 people on board. Now we should load up quite heavily here. Make some nice cash. As they now head back. So how much do you reckon we're going to need then? If I manage to vehicle, if I wanted to literally duplicate it, I don't know how much we need. Honestly, don't know how much we're going to need to be able to duplicate all of that. But could we at least get a second train on? I'm trying to look where the current routes are going. I'm trying to look towards where they're stopping. The one going back to Liverpool is on the way right now. That will make some good cash. But as soon as I can afford to duplicate, I'm duplicating. There's 5, so you could argue that's 10. I want to say about 16-ish million, I reckon, without fully working it out. So, can't clone at 13.9. 14? Can't clone. It should tell you how much you actually need. It would just give us a better idea, wouldn't it? Right, there's a train there going to Birmingham. How much does it make? Can't clone at 16. Okay, so it's a little bit higher than you think. It's a lot higher than you actually expect it to be. What about that train getting to Liverpool then? Because that's an end route. It should make its majority of its cash going over there. It could be an 18 million, for all we know. Could be an 18 million. Alright, 15. Just unloaded there. The one in Liverpool's coming in. 15. Oh, we paid some bills, so we don't see the big stacks of cash, but that train's heading to London. Oh, I'm still watching my money. It's crazy to think how much we're now generating. But I'm still, still waiting for money to come in. So, we know we can't do anything at the moment. Bam, 17. 17.8 and we still can't do anything? Right, train's coming into Birmingham. 18, wow. Is this a 20 million train? 19.4. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to need at least 20 million. 19.7. Or 19.8. Oh, it's gone back down again. That's crazy. 19 mil. Oh yeah, I'm waiting to get to 20. Sorry. I'm waiting to get to 20. So my train here is coming into Bournemouth now, the one that we're currently spectating. Will it make much cash as it leads into here? $600,000. It's not its biggest payday. The train's coming down to Exeter, the one that comes from Liverpool. Will that see a big payday? Bam! Wow! It was 21 million. That was the number, 21 million. Siri, get out of here right now, you damn noob. So where's that train then? So this one is currently heading towards, or leaving Bournemouth that way. That one's going to, so yeah, they're nicely spaced out, which is good to see. Already, straight away, fully loaded up. This one's just fully loaded up. This one's now loaded going opposite way. So we now have a decent second train, decent capacity. So I'm really happy about that. I need to change the engine on this as well. How much is over here? I can definitely carry some more. But this is a train that I really need to change the engine on. But again, it all comes down to cash. So the backlog of vehicles is again dying down. So even though we're only seeing like minimal vehicles using the M25, it's beneficial because it's taking a lot of vehicles off. It's very beneficial down here. It's taking a lot of vehicles off the main routes, which is slightly freeing up the area. But the big problem is, it's just so ridiculous. Right, the problem is we've got 19 miles to 30 miles. We need to upgrade some of these routes. So I know it's going to cost me a bit of cash, but wherever we can upgrade lines right now, it will make sense. So it might cost me an absolute fortune, but roads leading to certain areas makes more sense. Just going to keep upgrading my roads. So will we see them start utilising this bridge a bit more now we've upgraded some of the roads that lead to it? I don't know. And I don't want to keep deleting a load of buildings because it costs us absolute fortune. But London's had a nice little revamp anyway. I'm still fairly happy with the slight little revamp it's had. But more bridges are needed. It's like they're almost stuck in like some sort of an infinite loop. I can't believe how free this has now become. Even leading in, the traffic is kind of like dispersed, like dramatically. So what it shows me is that it's the backlog is still, we still got a backlog, but it's slowly dying down. I mean, certain areas it's still like absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna upgrade this road as well. So upgrade you. Upgrade that leading into Cambridge. Right, upgrade all that road. Because now we've got two really decent roads. I know that one's slightly a little bit faster, but two decent roads that they can now utilise to get in and out. One links up to the highway. One's a normal bypassing route. So they've got a couple of choices there on which way they want to go. So it makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? I think so. I think so, boys. Right, okay, so we've done our southern route then. We've added 2 trains onto it, which should mean that the southern line, as well as its finances and expenses being higher, its income has doubled. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted it to do. Now, this train is crippled right now, so what we'll do to this one is first edit it, and we'll give it a new engine. So we'll go diesel, because electric's going to be way too expensive for me at the moment. Steam no longer exists. So add you on. Now it's going to cost me 7 million just to modify the engine alone. So do that. And once we can afford some money, some more money, we'll then replace the carts on it. But at least it's got the power now to get up and down the hill. So it should technically be a bit more frequent. I know it's going to cost a lot more to maintain it. But hey ho. There we go. Big improvement. Right, that backlog is gone. We've got a slight little backlog here still. But it's all good. The main one going into here is completely freed up. Which saves my little bus routes a little bit of a trip going down that way. Nice. 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 I'm seeing movement happening. It's now all split. But we've got to add more connections. I reckon I need to do some type of a line that goes up through this way. That will eventually go into Ipswich on the way to Norwich. And that will kind of also help us out with a lot of the traffic problems that we are seeing. But it's a case of, one, money. Takes time. And patience. Which, I don't really have a lot of patience. It stresses me out at the best of times. It really does. But hopefully we should see some movements anyway. We've got the M25 all connected up right now. I know it would have hurt London a little bit, but they'll bounce back. They're all good. They're all good. Now, because we are making some good cash, we've increased the amount of money we make on the southern line. We made our little kind of train over here a little bit better so we can carry more, well, not carry more goods, but be a bit more frequent. Obviously, the finances will be a bit off now because of how expensive it is. But it's stuff like we can now think about adding additional cargo to it. So the new flat car stakes right now, which cost us 2 million, these hold 20 capacity each. Crazy, right? So I could get rid of one. So if I can bring this down to 48, I've got rid of 20, which I can replace with one of these. I could get rid of another 20-ish. Actually, let me get rid of all of it. We'll add in 3. So the current capacity is 68. I could add 4 of these on and now have an 80 capacity. If I go for a 5th one, so we got 100. Let's replace that. That's now all of a sudden now carrying 100 at a time. So that's going to be a lot more profitable. I'm just hoping it produces enough. It should do. But it's such a short distance. We need to keep our eye on that. But this logic can be applied elsewhere as well. Now, we did add more carriages to the ore route, which is not quite got enough. So it's all about these demands anyway. So I might add a couple more to this. So the gondolas are now different on this. We can now get better gondolas, which again costs us 2 million. But if I was to add one on, it gives us an extra 20. But it's a case of the trains now becoming way too long. So it's where you want to then start replacing them and make it a lot more efficient. But we have the cash for this now. We do have the cash for this. So we should see some big improvements. That is like 40 miles an hour all the way up the hill. Glorious. That makes 1 million on a drop. Finances are going to be doubled. Just like that. Just like that. The finances here are looking pretty good. So the initial boost, because there's an overwhelming amount of passengers and it'll kind of like narrow off, but it's there. It's pretty much there. We just need to get more people on all the other routes connected as well. Right. Not bad. Not bad, boys. So we've kind of solved traffic issues around this area, which is really helping out my food route. We've solved the traffic issues surrounding Canterbury right now, which is absolutely wonderful. We've still got a few issues here and there elsewhere and all that kind of jazz in many of the other places. But it's just we've got very, very high demands with them getting in and to and out and through and around London. It is a bit crazy. But I think more passenger lines will be a really big interest. We got to figure out the tram route within Birmingham as well. But Birmingham's looking like it's starting to build up traffic too. So this is where we do need to start thinking about inner city transport away from vehicles. Whether we do create elevated train routes, tram routes, we've got to figure something out because we will be overwhelmed with vehicle traffic and it will catch us out. It will dramatically catch us out. So with nearly 10 million in the bank right now, the money is steadily increasing. We're going to keep spending it on increasing a lot of our current lines to make sure that they're, one, efficient, fast, carry a lot more passengers. They might require multiple trains, and we'll just make even big stonks. So when it comes to our finances, yes, our expenses are increasing because I keep spending it, but more importantly, our income is also increasing. We just had our best year to date, 35 million in income. Very good. The M25 is in, boys. It looks shocking, but it is a sight for sore eyes, but it does exactly what it needs to do. And we will be thanking it in the future. We will be thanking it very, very much. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.